Okay. Says we are live. Hopefully that is true, and I need to put the correct banner up or just take the banner off. Hello, how are we? Um, hopefully we are doing fantastically. Hopefully we are ready to get another Friday and the weekend ready to go. And I am feeling sort of the urge to be crafty this weekend. So I may crochet something. I may make a couple brooms of the whisk brooms. I'm not real sure. I may make some jewelry. No, this is the problem when you're like a serial serial hobbyist. You like hop from one to the other. I don't know what to call it. Um, besides maybe ADHD. I don't know. Uh, the like I would like to try this, and then when you're not instantly good at it, I would like to try something else. Anybody else experience that? Yeah, but I see what have I done since I baked some more muffins since you saw me last. Um, I went to some thrift stores in search of a very small kitchen table. No luck. Um, what else? Went to the dentist, got my dental hygienist appointment done. So I'm good for 6 months. They gave me a gold star of approval. Said I'm doing good. So that was nice to hear. What else? I think I told y'all that my sister-in-law sent pictures of yeah. So yeah, I think I told y'all. Because we were all discussing the aurora, the borealis that some people saw and I did not. Um, I tried the next night and was like, maybe I'll see it again, but no. Some people in Atlanta self-reported that they saw some, but I think other than that, the closest was like Virginia. I was like, okay, I don't think I'm gonna see it. um, what else? Um, yeah, went for a couple walks. It's been nice enough temperature-wise to go out and sunny enough to go out for walks. Um, so yeah. Um, Ooh, Stacy got your MRI. It was quick. Yay! But now you have to wait until next Wednesday to like hear about the results. Boo. I'm glad you got it done. I'm glad that it was quick. Hopefully it was not too scary or too claustrophobic feeling. And hopefully next Wednesday when the doctor like is able to discuss results with you, hopefully hopefully they'll have a good plan of action once they see the results. So let's cross our fingers for Stacy, knock on wood, and hopefully good things will come out of this. So this is where Stacy said good afternoon. So good afternoon. Hello, author AGM AG McCampbell, AGM Campbell or AG McCampbell. Let me know which one to go by. I paused because I'm like, I'm not sure if this is 3 initials and then a Campbell or if you have Scottish heritage. Monique says, hey y'all, hello, welcome. Dominica doesn't look like she'd survive a horror movie. Okay, this is in regards to the poll. She's small, walks with a slight limp, and has a patch over her left eye. However, she's cool under pressure, highly observant, and knows magic. So your main character sounds like they're a survivor. Stacy's had a productive morning. Yay. But you're now fighting a migraine. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Karma and you did a puzzle and tried on some clothes to see if they fit, and you boxed up the ones that didn't. Fair enough. You're also in the middle of laundry. Yes, I have to do laundry again, even though I feel like I just got finished with laundry. Stacy's also currently watching Sarah Cannon's video on an at-home writing retreat. Might consider it for Monday, Tuesday. Nice. Was that the one where she almost missed her deadline? I'm trying to remember if that was the title of it. Christian also didn't see the borealis. It was too cloudy the next night. Yeah, we didn't have clouds. It was just like I kept checking the app and it was like 0% chance of you seeing the borealis where you are. I was like, meh. Anyway, so I should have gone out and checked in the middle of the night when I was already in my pajamas and in bed, like the night that my sister-in-law sent us the pictures. I should have gotten out of bed and checked, but I didn't. I was comfy. I was comfy, so I could not make myself. The poll is funny because you are writing a gothic horror, so your main character is in a horror. Okay, so don't spoil us unless you want to. But your answer is going to be a spoiler, essentially. Your answer to the poll. Stacy was trying to fall asleep but you were too during the MRI, you were too focused on not moving, but you didn't feel claustrophobic. Great. I'm glad. I am very glad because I know some people really do feel claustrophobic in the MRI machines. So I'm glad. Or is it the CAT scans? I think it's the MRIs. I'm not sure. Kara drove an approximately 300-mile round trip. Oh, that's right, for your upright MRI because you were too claustrophobic, yeah, to tolerate the open MRI without sedation. Yeah, so Kara would be one that would be too claustrophobic for the MRI machine. Okay, Monique is working in the bullet journal and is creating your own month in pixels tracker. Nice. Are you creating it in your bullet journal, or are you creating it digitally so you can print out multiple times and just paste it in? Okay, so it is AGM Campbell, and you're also Scottish ancestry. Yes. Okay. Yeah, and that's the thing, is I know that that sometimes the MC, I'm like, is it? Because yeah, same. We have Scottish ancestry on both sides of my family, so yeah. We had a poll not too long ago, I guess, about tartans, like which which tartan would your main character maybe wear. Okay, so this is a new video that came out an hour ago. Did I get a notification for it? Question mark. Yes, I did. Okay, so yeah, an hour ago. Okay, I just haven't watched it. I was still watching Jessie Corinne's setting up her reading journal. Yesterday I watched Aaron Smith. And then I was also watching what's her channel? Chloe. She's more of an art channel. But she was unboxing the Cult Pens advent calendars. Like the super expensive one, and then the still expensive but less expensive one. So I found it fascinating because I was like, last year's the super pen was a fountain pen and looked fancy and looked like it was worth a decent chunk of money, and it was. This year, some of the pens, I was like, I don't see necessarily why people why it demands that price point. I mean, some of the pens, there was a Bentley collaboration. And I'm like, okay, you're paying for the Bentley name, not necessarily the band. You're paying for the Bentley name. So yeah, but I watched that because I like to see advent calendar stuff because we don't usually do it, but I like to watch people unbox them. So, but I'm also impatient. I want to know what's in every box. So, so yeah. Okay, anyway, so Sarah's video came out about an hour ago. But she's going to do the at-home writing retreat probably next week. Or if she filmed it last week, this week. Anyway, you picked your dates so that they are before you get the results on the MRI. Gotcha. Yeah, that way you will be able to focus on the writing and not the results. And also maybe not have a slew of phone calls with doctors and specialists and things like that. So yeah. Okay, Dominica's story is more dark fantasy than horror, but it does have some eerie elements. Gotcha. Nice. Elizabeth says, hello, everybody. As for the poll, your girl has been through some stuff, and she is a survivor. A rom-com might be a problem for her. Nice. You're not creating it in your Bujo. You bought Jeshi's spread planner. Yes. Okay, so you're making a table in Canva so that you can print it out as many times as you need. Yes. You cannot do a yearly tracker. You want to start small with the monthly/weekly trackers. Yeah. So the only one that I have that is a pixel-esque, because I have tried them yearly before. So the only one that I have is for essentially my cycle, which I need to update. So yeah, so that's the only like pixel type thing that I wound up sticking with. Okay, Kara did the 23andMe thing. You found you have far less Scotch and Irish ancestry than you believed. You have a lot of German. The findings that surprised you more were the Moroccan and North African in small amounts. Gotcha. Yeah, so that's the one thing is that the 23andMe and the Ancestry.com and whatnot, they are still evolving because the more people that use them, the better that their results get. So I know some people have logged on and their results have changed because the database has expanded and they can now analyze a little bit better. But it's still fascinating. But also like yeah, like you have the family tree that might be based on documents from history, from your family documents, from customs and immigration, from censuses, what have you, tax rolls. You have those historical documents that tell you what people's written history is. Sometimes the DNA is a little different than the written history. Sometimes. We do have, on my dad's side, we have a really long, big, I should probably take a picture of it and upload it at some point. We have the big family tree because one of his cousins, so I guess like a cousin once or twice removed, I'm not real sure, was doing the lineage was tracing the lineage back for Daughters of the American Revolution. And so was gathering up all of the documents and stuff. And so we have my father's side of the family treed back to I don't even remember what year, but that's where I like know some of the weird funky names like Texana Confidence, who like apparently killed Bobcat in order to protect her baby when they were out on a picnic. I'm like, okay, go Texana Confidence. That's cool. But also your name is weird. And nobody else in the family is named that because it's a little bit of a weird name. You wish you had more time to explore your ancestry. You find it fascinating, particularly the Lithuanian branch on your father's side. Nice. Yeah, there are stories that would get passed down verbally, like Texana Confidence killing a bobcat, that are not passed down typically in written form. And so after a certain number of generations, those stories seem to be lost. And so, yeah, so it's kind of, it's nice when you do have historical documentation to help inform you of some of those fun, weird things. But yeah. You entered Jeshi's giveaway in her reading journal by self-promoting your novel. Nice. Excellent. Stacy says to Monique, you used to break your New Year's goals into monthly goals, and that was helpful. And as you would get things done, you check them off. It would transfer well to a pixel tracker, you think. Nice. Like if you worked on the goal today type of thing. Yeah, that would be good. You needed to update that too. Yeah. On your phone. Yeah, I have it in two places. I have it on my phone, and I have it in the journal, because the phone, I use Clue because it is able to give me a prediction as to when to expect Aunt Flo to visit again. And that way I can tell also, like, averaging in the last couple of cycles whether or not anything is changing. So Stacy says you tested all of your grandparents and you with 23andMe. You had a place that none of your grandparents had. Interesting. So that did get updated. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'm hoping that maybe there'll be like a Black Friday sale or something, because I think that could be fun. I don't remember if I'm trying to remember if my brother has already done it or not, or if we're just both of us talking about we were procrastinating doing it. And I can't remember if he was looking at 23andMe or Ancestry. I don't remember. Anyway, let's go ahead and get the doggos and the card for today, and then we can get started. Stacy says, I tested at Ancestry and then transferred to MyHeritage. Is MyHeritage another website that keeps the information? Because I know some of them are like subscription type things. Like you have to pay to continue to have access to your results. I don't know if that's true for all of them. So I don't know. Anyway, one of them is like a yearly subscription type thing, which I find weird. I'm like, I already gave you my DNA. I'm like, anyway, Thursday's doggo is named Bobby. He was shaking with his right paw down, but is still working on his left paw. Needs to stick his tongue out to help him focus. 12 out of 10. The focus helps. The tongue in the focus. Very cute. Also very out of focus. Well, it's tried. And then today, why would anyone send a picture without a dog in it? Like, what is even the point? The leaves look nice, though. 13 out of 10. So we have a very well camouflaged doggo. Very much the same color as the leaves. So that is our doggos for the day. Then we need a card. Okay, so MyHeritage runs pretty much like Ancestry. There is now a transfer fee. There wasn't there when you transferred it. You cannot see the records, but you can see DNA matches. Interesting. Okay, so today we have the Wolf Spirit. It's number 67. We're almost there. There we go. Okay. Here's our wolf. Turn knowledge into wisdom. The wolf leads you deep into the enchanted forest that holds the secret of your life. Can you sense her beckoning you to follow, asking you to take all that you have learned and all that you are learning and make it yours? Can you integrate it into your body, mind, and spirit? Whatever lessons you learned along the way, do not leave them unexamined. Be loyal. Be loyal to your dreams, to your soul, and to turning knowledge into wisdom and experience into magic. You are the one you have been waiting for. Be still and know that the sound of your heart beats in harmony with the whole world. The appearance of the wolf is an auspicious omen that says you are truly in alignment with your destiny. So there you go. There is the card for today. And so I mentioned the poll, but I didn't go over it. The poll is, would your character survive in a horror film? And the options are no, because your main character is the one to suggest going to the haunted place. The second option is no, your main character is too clumsy, too slow for making it through the whole movie. Option 3 is yes, your main character is a survivor. So they would do what it took to survive. And then the last option is yes, my main character would survive because they know better than to F around and find out. So they probably would not be in the haunted place in the first place. So, or if they found it and figured out it was haunted, they would leave. So those are your options. Let me get up my document. Okay, so my goal for today, I think I'm going to set it as, 2K. We'll see if we get there. I feel like based on brain energy, I'll be real close if I'm not there. So I'm going to set it at 2K and like, hopefully we'll get there. Monique says, given that Drama of the Undead has a lot of horror elements, it's safe to say that Gabby and Susie survive. True. Very true. All right, let's do this. I think I am going to use our otter to start off. That way you won't hear me like sigh and cuss at typos and all that. Okay, let's do this. Make the banner. Okay, 1, save your document or pull it up if you were at that point. 2 is make sure you have something to hydrate with and go ahead and take a sip. Cheers. Yep, Stacy needs to switch the laundry. This is also your reminder that if you need to switch the laundry or if you need to turn off the coffee pot or if you need to do any of that, please do that. 3 is straighten your spine or roll your shoulders back for that posture check. Make sure you're not slouching too much. And 4 is if you need to break, please take a break. Here we go. 30 minutes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. I wound up doing something different. I wound up going back and looking at the history both on my computer and on my phone to double check my reading list for what I was reading digitally and on the different devices. So I think I've gotten everything that I need to update my journal with. I think. Anyway, I also got 240 words as well. Outside of that. So, distractions. Distractions abound. But yeah, so I've gotten that. And I've gotten, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 24. Got 25 things to add to the reading list. So not all of those were read to completion, just read significant chunks and dropped, or read significant chunks and am waiting for the next installment, things like that. So not a huge amount of progress. I definitely like fell into my brain doesn't want to work right now, so we're gonna do something different. Fell into that, so I will have to try and make up some of those words in the next sprint. Let's see. Monique drew the King of Swords from the Buffy deck. Nice. And you're going to be going out with your fam after the first sprint. So I hope you enjoy. In case you have to hightail it out of here, here's the link to Monique's novel for the self-promo sprint. Carrie, hello! Welcome. Hello, it's been forever since you've been able to join. How is everybody? I am doing pretty well, trying to get my brain into gear. Sometimes, some days it's better than others. But doing pretty good. How about you? Hopefully things are going well with you. Stacy got 321 words, the first words you have typed since October 19th. You are so proud of yourself. Yay! Excellent. Good. Good. Also got the laundry switched over and the dry clothes separated, and you had a bio break. Very nice. First words you've had since the 19th, while your character, which is your character's first full name, excuse me. It's the first time we find out her last name. It's not necessarily important to the story. Gotcha. Okay. So surname and family, not necessarily super imperative to the plot. Or maybe the character arc, depending. Now she's spiraling because it's her full name. Gotcha. Okay. We need to do some better. I need to do some better word sprints. No more allowing distractions, right? At least for myself. If you are able to have some wiggle room, feel free to get distracted. No, I'm kidding. I should not derail you just because I got derailed. So Carrie's doing great. Your husband got a new job after being laid off for nearly a month and a half. Yay! At a major architecture company in town, so he's been giddy for hours. Yay! Congrats to your hubby and your family. Yay! I know that's got to be a major relief. And hopefully, it being a major company, hopefully that means a little bit more stability. Hopefully, and more job consistency. But it's pretty rare to get hired at this time of the year because usually October is the end of the company's fiscal year. So usually there seems to be a hiring freeze for certain institutions, I should say, for certain companies and institutions. There's like a hiring freeze between January from the end of November to the end of January. There seems to be like a hiring freeze a lot of times. So yay for Carrie's hubby. First thing we're going to do is replace your windshield that's had a crack in it since last year. Yeah, that's important in the coming cold months. Very important for both keeping the inside of the car dry and warm, but also making sure that the rest of the windshield is not compromised. Yeah. Don't want to go another winter with the crack. Yeah. Understand that. All righty. Let's do another sprinty sprint. Hopefully, I may do like a standing sprint. I don't know. We'll see. Probably not. A lot of times I'm like, I should probably get one of those standing desk things. And I'm like, would I use it though? Is the question. Would I use maybe one of those little walking pad type things for under the desk? I don't know if I would use it though. That's the problem. Is I don't know that I would consistently incorporate it into. Does anybody have one of those under the desk walking pads or standing desks? Do you like it? Have you gotten used to it? Do you still use it at, 6 months later type of thing? So, yeah. Anyway, let's do the second sprint. Monique's link is here in case you want to get My Ex is a Vampire. And should you get it and read it, make sure that you leave a review on Amazon and Goodreads. Same for all of the other indie authors. If you are purchasing and supporting the authors, please take the time to also do the reviews. Okay, let's save. 2 is take a sip. Cheers. 3 is straighten your spine. Roll your shoulders back for that posture check. Make sure you're not slouching too much. And 4 is make sure if you need a break, take a break. Here we go. 30 minutes. Don't forget to do the poll as well in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. I think I have that one as well. Okay. This one. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. I got 668 words. And then I went and tried to cancel an appointment that I have in December, but they have closed early because it's Friday and they want to go home early. So I'll have to cancel that on Monday rather than today. So I made a note to do that in the bullet journal. And then I also was going to mark on my chaotic series tracker paper that I have. A while back, I had purchased a bunch of used books from eBay that follow one of the authors that I really like, Nalini Singh, and I purchased several anthologies that she was in, not realizing that I already have those in a collection that she published after those anthologies were published. So I was like, wait a second, these are very familiar. I have this already. So I'm going to be unhauling 2 of those because they have, I already have a copy of that, and I don't necessarily love the other stories that are in the anthologies. So I'm going to be unhauling 2 of those, which, I wish I had realized that before I purchased them. Oh well. Oh well. And then, yeah, then it was time. So at the moment, where am I sitting in terms of word count? So it's plus 668. At the moment, I'm sitting at 24,503 for the month, which is that. It's 24. My next. It is. Yay. Okay. Fantastic. So I can fill in the next bar on my thing. Which, okay, so 15th, tomorrow is halfway mark, right? So if we're aiming for 50K, we should be at 25K tomorrow. So I'm about on track. I don't have much excess room, but I am about on track. So I haven't added my stars and sparkles, so but I need to do that at some point. So 24,503, and that's my running total. Funky is here, TGIF, and all the exclamation marks. Ooh, so are you able to write today, or are you stuck in meetings? What does your Friday look like for you? Okay, so let's see. Kara you do have a book review today. Here is the link for the Ornery Book Emporium website, so check it out. And Carrie has a link tree with all of Carrie's authory stuff. So Carrie H. Author, links to the books, the Substack, the coffee, the socials, all there. You're planning 2 releases in 2026, so all the updates on that are on Substack. Excellent. Kara's going to do some stretching. You've asked to be discharged from physical therapy yesterday as you are no longer dealing with severe pain or numbness, but you want to keep it that way. So yes, please do the stretch. Elizabeth says, word has started to act up. Oh no. Oh, okay. Save. I'm gonna save mine. So you're gonna write by hand until you can figure out what's going on, right? Yeah. I've got to figure out from my mom's computer. We bought her a new laptop. But that means because Microsoft is being Microsoft and they are no longer supporting the full-blown purchases of the suite, they are now sort of only doing the subscription 365. at least from what I can tell. And so I've got to figure out how to navigate that with her laptop. Stacy got 62 words and then distracted by a drama-filled text chain. Ooh. Is it drama that you can share, or is it family, personal, private drama? I do love a drama-filled text chain. I'd like to know what's going on. I'm nosy. Christian says 200 words and then had to out toddler. Yeah. Yep. Had to put the toddler down for a nap. There we go. There we go. So here's Funky, excited that it's Friday. But it's all work writing today because they're trying to kill you before Thanksgiving break. I mean, yeah, they are trying, aren't they? Word tends to do that. Yeah, sometimes it does. But for me, I have one of the old versions that I purchased instead of the subscription model. So even though they are no longer going to be supporting it, I'm going to use it until I cannot anymore. But I will be making more frequent backups because I know that there could potentially be some fallout that they don't, things suspiciously start to go wrong with not only Microsoft, but also if it's almost time for your antivirus software to be renewed, magically they start finding more problems when they usually are like, everything's good. Like, oh, we protected you this month from 3 viruses and X number of other things, and I'm like, yeah. So I would not be surprised if Word starts doing something like that. For a dedicated word processing program, you could try Office Libra. Yes, yeah, we've used that before. But it's like getting my mom to use something new is sometimes a struggle. So we'll see. Stacy says we have a new minister and she's not happy with the CE director who is now leaving after Christmas. And a few kids, including mine, will be leaving at the same time. You're staying to play the flute. Okay. So is it sort of like a power play that's happening and between the minister and the CE director? And so is the fallout a natural occurrence of your children growing up, or is of your kids leaving at the same time? Or is this, so are your kids leaving partially because they don't like the atmosphere and the drama and the shenanigans? Or are they leaving because they're sort of outgrowing? I guess is the main question, sort of. But yeah. I always found that there were weird, really, really weird power dynamics in a lot of churches that we went to. And we had a couple that got involved in the youth group activities that came from another church, and they left that church because there were some power struggles between that couple, mainly the man and the pastor of their previous church. So they wind up leaving and coming to ours, and then he was trying to get involved in the youth group and involved in the church, and then sort of taking more authority than he should. It was really weird. It was like we were going, this was the time we were still attending the youth group, and we were going to go on vacation down to Florida to visit family. And this guy straight up calls our house and is like, why are your kids not in youth group? I'm like, they're down visiting family. Well, are they going to be back next Sunday? Well, no. They're still visiting family. They should really come because they need to be attending. Like, it was weird. Really, really weird. So we stopped attending at all after that. And as did just about every other youth in the church. And so the youth group dissipated because of him. A lot of the other tweens started attending an entirely different church in altogether. And so like he really did not do the church any favors. Possibly it's somewhat expected. Your oldest is somewhat outgrowing it. They just started something for her age group, but she isn't there. You're not making her go. Yeah. Yeah. Kara says, you got the laundry into the machine and did a 15 minutes of stretching. Excellent. Good, good, good. The youngest you'll continue to send until Christmas because of the programming, but after that, you're not going to make her. Yeah. Yeah. Your best friend is basically doing the same thing with their kids. Gotcha. Because your youngest kids really like the CE director, so when she goes, is it even going to be worth it? Yeah. Yep. That's often how it goes. Her youngest and my oldest go to to another church's youth group, and Karma isn't going to get that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it was very weird and very invasive. And my dad has long been like not does not adhere to organized religion, like at all. Hates it. Feels like it does way more bad than it does good. And so this guy like showed up at our house to try and convince my dad to come to church, like called to check, where we were and all this. So it was really like not great. And so when the youth program was empty and dissipated and those families left entirely, the interim pastor, because our pastor had been moved and then passed away, and so we had about, I want to say, like 5 years of just like interim test ministers, and it was really irritating because we all knew that they weren't going to stay, and so it wasn't they didn't build connections. So that was part of the whole reason of going to churches, was to build the connection with community, and that just wasn't happening anyway. So they asked us, they were like, hey, because we were the last ones to like officially leave the program, so they asked us why, and we were like, him, because of him. So they got somebody else to try it for a while, but at that point we'd all been relatively burned by the power dynamics. So you haven't set foot in church in years, except for the monthly food bank at the church in your little town. Yeah. Mom continued to go for a really long time and help out with like the events and the food pantry and the food co-op and stuff. But we did not after that. So yeah, what's even funnier is you're pegging you're not Christian. Yeah. And that's the thing, is like the connection to community is great, and that's one of the places that it still exists. And so that, I think, is very necessary for development, but it comes sometimes at a cost, and also forcing kids and teens to do something is a surefire way of making them rebel against it. So you guess you don't need to be as shy about that anymore. You have respected the church and have wanted to see if it survives. You do love the community of the church, but you're getting fed up. Yeah, I understand that. Kara was raised Catholic. You got involved in New Age practices as a young adult, but found them to be prosperity gospel with a different coat of paint. Yeah, a lot of that can be, and a money pit. Yeah, simple agnostic now. Yeah, which makes sense. But whatever your faith, whatever your belief, finding a community is always a good thing, I think. But making sure that your community is not toxic can sometimes be hard. And so when it does turn toxic, a lot of times your community then shrinks. So, okay, let's go ahead and do another print. And I may go make myself a cup of tea. I think decaf, because I've already had, I mean, it's art. Oh my God, it's 2:51. Okay. I'm just going to bite into your Friday. I'm sorry. I'm going to put this up on the screen. I'll roll it down to 25 so that I'm not biting too much into your Friday afternoon. But yeah. Okay. So 1, save your document. Save, especially if Word is acting up or your program is acting up. 2, cheers. 3, straighten your spine, roll your shoulders back for that posture check. Make sure you're not slouching too much. And 4 is make sure if you need a break, take a break. Here we go. 25 minutes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. Oops, typo. And another one right before that. Okay, let's see where we are. I think I got about 700 again, 700 or 800. I think 700. Plus equals, okay. Yeah, so I got about 800. 800, not bad. Not bad. I will take it. So I did not get to my 2K for the day. So I will have to do another sprint a little bit later, maybe after I start the laundry and dinner. But I at least got a good start, which is fantastic. Fantastic. Hopefully you also got some words. I'm going to save my document, save my outline, and save this extra note thing that I have open. All the saves. Christian got 572 words. Nice. Excellent. Good job. Stacey says, no words, still distracted by the drama, but you got around 400 words, which are the first words in nearly a month, so that is a very big plus. Yes. Excellent job. Way to go, Stacey. I am trying to decide what I want to do crafty-wise this weekend. Whether or not I want to make a couple pairs of earrings, or if I want to crochet something, or if I want to make some brooms. I'm not entirely certain. The little whisk brooms. So I'm not entirely certain what I want to do, because I need to start thinking about like Christmas gifts that I can make. So some of them crochet wise are going to have to be started like ASAP if I'm going to get multiple done before Christmas. Yeah. And then we'll have to figure out gifts for adults that are maybe not crochet. So we'll see. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. I will have to end the poll now. Would our main character survive a horror film? 44% of our main characters say yes, because our main character is a survivor, followed by 31% of our main characters would survive because they know not to F around to find out. They would just leave the horror film. 19% say no because my character is too clumsy, too much of a mess. And 6% say no, my main character would not survive because they were the one whose idea it was to go to the haunted place in the first place. So Elizabeth said the nice part about this word issue is you broke out of the scene that you were working on and got to jump ahead to something that you wanted to write a little bit more. Yay! Funky says mine better survive. They're in a horror book. If you want a sequel, yeah. I mean, are there horror books where there's at least where your main character doesn't survive? Do the main character get turned into the ghost, into the phantom, into the thing? Were they the thing to start with? I don't know. I'm sure there's probably some books that are like that somewhere. The Mist movie had a rough ending. True. Yeah. And I feel like Lost, that was more psychological than like real horror, but I feel like that one did not end up. I think they had some writers at the beginning who maybe had an idea and then they left and their ideas were not passed on. And so they just had to create an ending when the show was concluding. I don't know. Anyway, let's go ahead and say save, thank you, and enjoy the weekend. And I will hopefully see y'all in the chats. If not, I will see y'all Monday. All right. Bye.